All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing day and hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning. Happy Friday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today? Oh, wait a second. I can't hear Norm.
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. Sorry about that. How about
There we go.
yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Happy it's Friday. Another
For sure.
great week in the books, guys. We had such a great watch list almost every day. A lot of activity. Things are starting to come down a little bit more. Hasn't been as wild as the previous weeks, and we could see that by our watch list. Again, this watch list almost every day last week, and the week before that was, again, it's still pretty big, but it was huge, right? And now we're starting to see a little bit more of a lesser, wilder moves, which are good for some cases. Again, we like the big moves, but sometimes stocks trade just too wild, and it's hard to find patterns. So it's nice to see a little bit of something coming down a bit here. We're not seeing gapping up and down 6-5% on on the SPY every day, so that's good to see for to a certain extent. So let's get into the market. What we got going on today, Norm? I see some activity happening here after 7:55. Volume increasing pretty nicely. What's happening today? What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, for sure. So the futures were trading down. S&P futures were trading down pretty much all night, and they started slowly creeping up. We just had the non-farm payrolls come out, and unemployment rate for the month that was released 5 minutes ago. So we talked about unemployment claims the last couple of weeks, and those come out for the week prior. Those are gathered in a certain way. And then non-farm payrolls come out and it's surveyed in a different way. The data takes a little bit longer, so it's from an earlier point in time. Generally, we've been adding the last report we got was actually a lot better than expected for February. This one, the survey took place earlier in March before most people thought it was going to have a major impact from coronavirus. So for February, the number came in at 228,000 added, which was higher than expected. Analysts were expecting about 163,000 loss for March because it was before the peak of all these people started losing their jobs. It actually came out at a loss of just over 700,000. So worse than expected. And the unemployment ticked up from 3.5% to 4.4%. It was anticipated to be at 3.8. So, how these things work in the market are a little bit sometimes counterintuitive. It could be any number of things, and we could spend the entire pre-market show talking about it. But, does that a little bit bigger shock coming earlier? Does that mean that we're going to get more stimulus? Therefore, once we get through this and over the hump of the virus, is it going to,
Right,
spur the
right.
market? Is that stimulus going to help juice things more than anticipated?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe the hits being taken faster than people thought. You could come
Right.
up with a million ideas on why, but so far the market, it's gotten a little choppy. It's been around, but it went green for a second after that. Now it's kind of pulled back just a little bit. So little bit of an interesting deal. Then we'll have market services PMI and non-manufacturing index at 9:45 and 10 a.m. respectively. So like you said, things have calmed down a little bit. You were on Trader TV Live the other day talking about how volatility's calmed down a little bit. I'm still nowhere near shaving this stupid beard, but it's at least it's not quite as crazy. SPY is sitting right at its 9-day moving average. Um, we'll see if it can get through it. It broke through it earlier before we had this pullback the last few days, and now it's just sitting right below it. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree 100%. Um, let's take a look at LK. What did LK end
one
up
of the
doing
things
yesterday?
going on here,
Yeah.
Carlos, too, and we mentioned the virus, but one of the bigger things, and I've mentioned it a few times, and it goes along with this virus to a degree, is
Mm-hmm.
this oil price war that we've had because there's so many jobs, high paying jobs um, tied to oil in this country. Specifically, I live in Texas. My region, it impacts a lot. We've diversified away from it way more than like in the 80s, but still a significant impact on the economy. With nobody going to work, nobody driving cars, nobody flying airplanes, like 80% of the world's airlines grounded essentially, or airplanes grounded essentially because nobody's traveling or wants to get on airplanes. That caused a drastic drop in demand, while at the same time you've got this price war between China, not China, excuse me, between Russia
Yeah.
and the Saudis, where they both essentially just said we're not going to limit our pumping at all,
Yeah.
and it's just caused oil to be at levels not seen in 20-ish years. I don't know if you've gone to get gas recently or not, but uh, it's like half the price of what it was just a few months ago. So, and continues to go down as more and more storage capacity gets eaten up. And I've heard that storage will be essentially gone in a few months at this rate. There's some light, maybe at the end of the tunnel on that. We had it in the room yesterday. We talked about it, that President of the U.S. is trying to get involved and trying to get OPEC and OPEC plus, which is essentially Saudis and Russians, to agree to some supply cuts, and therefore stabilize the price of oil. Oil has been up a couple of days in a row. It is up. Oh, what I'm trying to think. Oil is up like 50-ish% almost, not quite, but 40-ish% in the last few days, from 20 to 20, 27-ish, $28 a barrel.
Hmm.
So that's having an impact here too. Just economically, if that oil price can continue to come up and we can get some agreements on supply cuts, that maybe it'll help stabilize things a little bit as well.
Yeah, right now it's definitely out of control. And talking about putting gas, I have not put gas. I can't remember what's the last time I put gas because I'm not going anywhere. So
Yeah.
I have a full tank for the last probably, well, not full now, but since 3 weeks I haven't used it. So you know, it's just insane. All right, guys. So let's get to it. Let's start with what we have on our list. We have a lot of green. Obviously, the SPY is it's not green, but it has been a bit strong this morning, kind of bouncing back from the low of this 248. Did go over above the previous day close. So that could be forcing some of these stocks in the 2.5 to about 3.8 or so to be gapping up a little bit this morning. Also, I'm seeing the tickers on here. These guys, a lot of these guys took a big hit yesterday, or the last couple of days too. CCL, I know, did. The airlines as well took a very nice dive also. So they're probably, kind of rebounding a little bit here. That could be the cause of a lot of these pots being so big because, again, the market's just right now pretty flat, but it's showing some signs of strength, bouncing off this pre-market low at 248. Let's start with the bottom. We only have one red one today, which is not a good one anyway, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. If you guys remember, this is I believe is an oil company, if I'm not
It's
mistaken. It's
foreign oil.
foreign.
It's crashed.
Yeah, so
Not worth it. It's out of Norway, I believe. It's not worth trading.
yeah, so not worth trading this one, guys. I am going to look at the top five, and then we'll work with you guys to see what you guys like on your end. If you have a ticker that you like, throw it on there, and if you have a catalyst behind it, just put it next to your ticker so we know exactly what's going on with that one. So let's take a look at APA this morning. Let's see, here we go. APA. This one is moving nicely today, up 17%, 810,000 shares traded. We have looked at this one in the past before. This is a 375 million shares float. And it has traded very well. The few times that it has been in play, we have been able to get some really good moves out of this one. I remember this one from the swing trade. I believe that, yes, the swing trade that Brian took here. He took a beautiful swing trade here, and again, just look how this thing just popped out nicely. So again, just a beautiful trade there. And then we also had some good intraday plays around this area. It was just very active after this move here. So they're down at a very low price. I liked them more when it was at around this 22, 25. Again, they're now trading at $5, like a lot of stocks are, as we know, dropping down to some really low numbers. So this one here today, I do like the daily. We are getting some kind of a nice flow here, and a very nice base off this $4 price level here. We got a good pre-market activity, a possible breakout out of these levels we have here this morning. So definitely like this one on my list today. We will make some room here.
So they've kind of got a double catalyst this morning. Not only, so this is Apache, an oil producer, and they not only is the price of oil up nearly 10% this morning, nine and some change last I looked, but they also apparently have a substantial discovery of oil uh, off the coast of Suriname, I believe.
Okay, okay. That's going to definitely help them nicely today. They got a nice pre-market right here, some good volume. You can see here after 8 o'clock moving nicely. So definitely going to keep this one on our list today. Let's go over and take a look at Tesla. Tesla's up on our scanners, up nice today, 14.5. So
Yeah.
Tesla has a beautiful pop here, great pre-market activity, beautiful volume. Again, what we like about this pre-market is just look how nice the flow is happening here. Even before it started getting volume, volume is starting to come in now. You can see how the body of the candles are being a little more wider, and you're getting a nice linking connection here as well. So definitely Tesla on the list today. What's the news on Tesla? That's a quite a bit of a pop today.
Yeah, so as I mentioned in yesterday's show, that this is the time when the car manufacturers come out and talk about their sales numbers for the previous month. So Tesla came out, they delivered 88,400 vehicles in March. It was more than expected. They also discussed some good news on their new Model Y production and deliveries. And on top of that, they also kind of reassured guidance for the year of a rate of about 500,000 deliveries. So that just spiked them. If you look at after hours, it happened right after the market closed, and they just got a massive spike from it.
Yeah, beautiful pop there after hours yesterday. So, speaking of after hour, guys, if you have not yet checked out our today's close on Wall Street, that's a show that Peter hosts. Where he usually has either Brian or Eamon on or Mike. Definitely check that out every day at 3:30 Eastern time. Let's take a look here at Oxy. Oxy again, it's an oil company. They're doing well today. They
Yep.
had a good day yesterday. It's probably one of the cleanest ones that trades that we have seen out of all the tickers that are going to probably be on here. How there's a few on here right that are gapping up this morning. This is probably the best one. We can take a close look at it. I personally do not like to trade this type of companies, but again, this one's trading very nice. Got a decent pre-market activity. Got some news behind it, possibly controlling the price and getting somewhat a handle on things here. Right now, it's it's pretty much the Wild Wild West. So we'll definitely take a look at this. Let's keep it on here for now. We'll see what we can get out of that one. Next, we have ET. What is ET? I'm not sure I recall this one. Uh,
Energy
yeah,
transfer. These guys build pipelines and such for oil producers. Um, and I think they're just up on the price of oil. I'm not seeing anything super fresh on it that would pop it like this.
yeah. So I'm not a fan of these type of stocks. I'm gonna skip on this one, guys. Again, it's just if you want to look at one, I think Oxy is the one to really keep an eye on. Let's take a look at how. How is the same thing, but a lot less volume here. You can see the pre-market is not as clean as Oxy, so we'll keep Oxy on the list. Let's head over to DVN. DVN same. All right, so we have a few here. DVN, How, ET, Oxy, all in that
Yeah.
same area. So I'm not gonna
Devon
watch.
Energy.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm just gonna focus on Oxy. We'll keep that one on the list. So just kind of see what that area is doing. Let's go over to Huya this morning. This one is it's got a nice pop here,
You take
5.4.
Oxy, I'm going to take Apache, and we'll see who's better at the end of the day.
There we go. I don't know, man.
All
Apache.
right. It's kind of like the draft.
Yeah, let's do that. We gotta get some sports stuff going on here since ESPN has nothing to talk about. We might as well talk about you bet on
The
stocks or
Ocho.
something. Yep. So let's look at next we have APT. Let's look at that one this morning. APT's got a good pre-market activity. Wait, hold on, that's not APT, that's Oxy. Wait, let's move this here. All right, here we go. Oh no, this is a horrible pre-market activity. So not a great pre-market activity. Light on the volume, only 113,000 shares traded. We are up 7%. The daily looks interesting. Like it could possibly get a pop out of here. But again, this is a lower flow stock. On these type of stocks, 11 million shares flow. I want to see a lot more volume. Right now, can it get better? Yes. Has it had possible breakouts in the past? Yes, we looked at it before when it broke out nicely, had some good intraday trading. But ever since this drop here, it has not been all that great to trade. And I really have not been watching it. Every time I look at it and just go back and look how I traded before, it hasn't been clean. So I don't expect much of it today neither because of this pre-market just not looking great. So I'm going to skip on that one. Let's go over to SLB this morning. What do we have here? SLB. Okay, this one. Is this an oil company as well? They all look very similar. I'm not sure. I can't
Which
say.
one?
SLB.
Yeah, Schlumberger. It's an oil.
Yeah, I could tell just by the way this price action is. Again, it's just not all that clean, guys. Oxy's the best one, so we'll skip on that one. All right, here we go. TLRY is the next one on our list. TLRY. This one's interesting, guys. It does have a okay pre-market action at the moment. Could get better if it can get more volume. Only 134 right now. We did have a breakout a couple of days ago. We kind of came back and did a base here around 6. We've got some good support happening here. If this thing can get going, it can get some movement, it could possibly go back up and test the highs from yesterday. It has done that the last couple of days, right on there around $7. So it's got some potential. It's got some room to run. And if it's able to break out of that, you definitely have some areas over here, moving average as well as $8 where you can hit as a possible target. So slight interest on this one. Again, hopefully we can get a better pre-market activity, but this is not bad, guys. It's only since 8 o'clock it started to get some volume here. Most of the volume is going to be in this area the last couple of minutes, and you can see here we're starting to get a little bit better. So hopefully that continues until RY. And again, this stock was one that I would never trade before in the past. We saw how wild this was, but again, once it has come down here to a lighter price, it's been more manageable to trade. Next we have CUK, which is really a Carnival. So instead of CUK, we will look at why is this one not populating?
Yeah, use CCL instead. Those are
Yeah.
just the preferred shares. And as you said, CCL gets better volume.
Yeah. So CCL again, guys, the last 2 days ago had a huge drop here in CCL. This thing went from $13 down to 9, opened up, gapping down again, hitting a new low. So the low of this was around $7 or so. So now we got a new all-time low here again, passing what the drop was in that first initial drop, where a lot of stocks made their 52-week low. CCL again taking massive hits based on loans and the debt they have to cover to just get through this. So again, that has hit them pretty hard here. And it sold off all the way down to this level here. So right now, pre-market is very, very choppy, guys. We do got some very significant volume, 2.2 million shares traded right now. Volume is a little bit all over the place. And just be careful with this one, guys, because I've seen it. We've seen it quite a bit. I've been trading this one for a while. At the open, you're getting these pops like it's going to be strong, and then it just gets slammed. So just be very careful with this one. We'll definitely take a look at it. CCL. This morning. Let's throw that on there. Next, we have CVX. Let's see what this is about. CVX. Interesting pre-market activity. Nice possible breakout here, but this also looks like, yeah, it is. It's an oil company as well. So another one on here. Is this oil company? It looks like it. Chevron. Yeah.
Chevron, yeah.
Yep. So we'll skip on that one. I'm going to go with Oxy for that. Let's look at some airlines. Let's look at Delta first, the one on our list this morning. 200,000 shares traded, up 3.2 right now. Again, not the best pre-market activity. A little bit all over the place, pretty choppy. Let's see if that gets better. So we'll keep Delta, but let's just look at American Airlines to see what those guys are doing. We'll look at are United as well. American Airlines here is, again, has a better, cleaner pre-market activity, and it's got to be because it has more volume. This one has 409,000 shares traded. Very similar daily chart. You're going to see that on American Airlines, United Airlines. They're all going to be moving in that same type of chart pattern. Again, they also have been taking a hit as well as these cruise lines. So if you notice, the SPY did not drop as much in the last 2 days, but these companies have been significantly hit. And you can see the drop in their area. Even with some of the news that the SPY has been getting, right? We had some horrible numbers come out the last couple of days with jobless claims. I would have thought this thing would have at least came down here to test some of these levels, and it didn't. It did drop. It did gap down quite a bit, but it held. It bounced back yesterday, and today, it's kind of right stalling at that previous day close line. But if you look at CCL, right, we see a drop here. You look at United and American Airlines and these guys, they all have a very nice drop here. So I am going to keep, looks like American Airlines got the best pre-market activity, so we'll keep that one on for now. And then we can go back to, we can make a change later if we need to. Here is Zoom. Now Zoom, I mean, this thing is took a nice drop yesterday. It was a beautiful trade, beautiful short. This was my trade of the day yesterday. I obviously did not take advantage of this entire move. Did not think it was going to drop this much. I was out way before that, but again, I saw you guys take a beautiful trade on this, and some of you guys took advantage the whole way down, and some of you took the reversal, took the reversal here on the way back up towards the VWAP and towards the high of the day. So great job there. But Zoom, I think it's worth watching. Possible continuation. Today's trading very clean, guys. Had a great pre-market activity yesterday. Today's starting to get going a little bit. Wish it could have more volume, but again, this one has been trading very clean, worth keeping an eye on. Let's head over. We looked at Delta. Let's head over to RCL. Let's look at some of the cruise lines. We already have CCL. RCL has less volume, so I'll keep CCL instead. If we look over, what's the other one? NCLH, I think it's the other one we've been looking at. NCLH. This one here, yeah, not great volume. I think CCL is the best one for the cruise lines this morning. All right, let's scroll down. What else we have? It feels like this list is getting a little bit longer now.
Did you skip Twitter?
Nope, Twitter was next. Twitter is next, or it appear or disappear. I'm not sure, but it's right in here. So Twitter, let's take a look at that one. Yeah, I like Twitter. Twitter is good, guys. Good pre-market activity, great volume, up 4.5. Do they have anything else going on besides?
Yeah, they got an upgrade out of Goldman Sachs this morning with a price target of $35.
All right, so that's definitely, let's look at Twitter. Again, Twitter can be explosive, kind of like a Roku as well. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. All right, guys, I think I was supposed to go through five, went through a lot more than that, but let's take it over to the chat and see what you guys like this morning. Starting over here in our chat room, we have Julian's giving us
I think a
LK.
couple
Yep.
Zoom and LK for sure. Take a look at.
Yeah, I have Zoom. We looked at that one. I think that one is on my list for sure. Again,
That's right.
great
Yeah.
continue. It could be a great continuation today, man. Had a great drop yesterday, great bounce. Again, just the overall intraday for Zoom was nice. I mean, just look at this drop here, nice engulfing, went long. It kind of did this ABCD pattern right at the VWAP. If you look at the 1 minute, and then just look at the pop here. Just again, beautiful trade there on Zoom. And then what was the next one you said, Norm? After Zoom.
LK.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had LK here, but we actually
Yeah,
didn't
we
talk
already.
about it.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, yeah, we put it on here, but we didn't actually talk about it. So yeah, let's look at that. So okay, guys, as you know, big drop yesterday with the news of their man over there cooking the books. Nothing good can come out of that. So huge drop all the way down. They hit as low as it was like $3, $4. So today they're popping up a
Yeah,
little bit.
375 ish.
Yeah, they are up 1.4, 3.2 million shares traded. A possible continuation on this one, guys. And look at the intraday yesterday. I mean, the whole entire move happened at pre-market, obviously. Found the base and then became a beautiful long. So you guys took this in here. I mean, this is a gutsy trade, by the way. I would not get on this one. You guys took this one long here. Some of you got stuck in the halt, but the halt was on the way up, and then it popped up pretty nice all the way up to almost $10. Again, good job there holding through that and being patient. So nice trade there. Then after that, it just became really, really choppy, and the price action was really difficult to read. I believe there is sometimes such a thing as too much volume. The volume around this area here was like a 50 million shares traded already, and it was just really all over the place. Very difficult to read the level two. But again, it was a tough trade. You can see how choppy it was after it made this incredible move here. It's just a chop came in, didn't really do much after that. So again, worth watching
That
today,
was Muddy
guys.
Waters covering their short, is what that was.
Yeah, absolutely,
There's a
absolutely.
number of companies that had this short. There's Muddy Waters put out a hit piece on them a few months ago,
hmm
short seller fund, um, and they were covering their short at that point.
And it's funny
So
you
we'll
met
see.
you
I have no share. I'm not gonna. I won't have it on my list. I've got no shares for short, and that's on
yeah
IB. That's not CMEG. So
yeah I don't have it either.
unless you have
Yep.
somebody that can locate shorts for you, you know,
Yeah, I'm not a big low K short guy. I know people that do that and they do very well, and that's their thing. But if I don't have it,
it's a different
just move
strategy than we
on.
use,
Yeah,
really. Yeah.
yeah. It's funny you mentioned yesterday the amount of people that drink actually coffee in China is very low, and it's funny it didn't make sense how great they were doing for this type of company. Come to find out,
Yeah.
here we go, boom, that makes
It's
perfect sense.
it's
So
extremely low. If you look at any research, and not that it's not growing. I
right.
mean, the older population there, which they have a significant older population, hardly drinks any coffee, but on a per capita basis in mainland China, research is something like between 3 and 5 cups per year.
Yeah.
Um, the rest of the world, other than China, is around 240 cups per year.
Yeah,
So,
I remember I used to
it's
I
growing, but
yeah, it's not not at this pace, right? So
yeah.
again, just
And
insane.
and the other thing about these, I'm not going to get too into the weeds on it, but there have been so many Chinese companies that lists on our exchange, and it's something that was really common a few years ago.
hmm
They just uh, don't deal with our regulation very well. They fight it, and they've been caught, making things up time and time again. So it's not at all shocking that this took place.
Right, right. So yeah, we'll take a look at this, guys. Possible continuation today. Great volume, but also with that volume, with such volume, you can get some good chop in there. So just be cautious. My rule for that type of thing is if I get stopped out 2 to 3 times on a play that looks good, right? Everything looks great. ABCD pattern. You get in perfectly at the base of the C. C point and you get stopped out. It happens again. You get in, get stopped out twice. Just avoid it. Trade something else. That's very important. Because if not, you're just going to get frustrated. You're going to keep getting your signals, keep taking this trade, and keep getting stopped out. Just move on to something else. Come back to it in 10, 15 minutes, and you can see if something can develop that you can actually trade. All right, so we have okay. Let's go back up to the list. I lost some people in here that I might not see. Okay, I have. Yeah, perfect. Everybody's looking at okay. RCL, we looked at. So RCL, you can look at RCL. I think either RCL, CCL, either one is good. I prefer CCL because just the sheer amount of volume that you're getting. Look at the difference between CCL here. Look how beautiful this is breaking out now because of this volume. RCL, you're not going to see that unless you get that volume. So just keep that in mind for the reason. You could watch either one. You could also watch NCLH, which is another cruise ship. But again, I think CCL is the one that has been pretty good to us. U.S. oil moving. Yes, I believe that's going to be moving today with some good positive news of trying to get things under control. Yeah, MMM. So this was watching the press conference, their live conference yesterday from the president. And again, it's just the stuff that's going on with the virus. It's insane, man. It really is.
They've got a PR disaster on their hands
Oh
that's
man,
forming right
they
now, I
they,
think.
they do. I do not wish to be on that podium of. I don't care what party you're from. This is just not good, no matter what side you sit on. It's just bad. We're losing lives left and right. So, and the worst part of it people don't know when it's going to get better before before things started getting kind of turning the corner a little bit here. So 3M, they got their Defense Act placed on them because of the hoarding some masks and things like that and sending them overseas. How true that is, who knows? But again, it's expected. I expected after hearing them say that a big drop yesterday after hours. That didn't happen. So they're still up. They're still only down 2.1 this morning. Could be an interesting one to watch. This could be a sleeper today, guys. Again, they've already been taking a pretty big hit down from 185 all the way down here to 115 with the market, obviously. But I'll look for this one for the scanners because right now I'm not seeing great volume. And after they were mentioning that in the news yesterday in the last couple of days, we haven't really seen a drop. It's just been consolidating here. So not sure how much that news is going to really affect these guys. All right, let's head down to our chat. AMD, MU, NVIDIA. Okay, they're probably all sitting in the same area. Let's look at AMD. AMD could be a good one. We could put AMD on the list. And then let's take some quick ones from YouTube here before we get over to our announcements. So NCLH, we talked about CHWY. Let's take a look at that. This one, possible earnings play. All right, right now I don't see much going on, but if it's a possible earnings play, this could be a one you could throw on your secondary list. Look out for the scanner, see what we can get out of that today. Down over to Twitter, we have on our list.
Yeah, Chewy did have earnings last night, but it's just a tough stock to trade at times.
Yeah.
It doesn't trade a ton of shares generally. I found it tends to be spready, so at times it might move, but like you said, I'll keep it on scanners, and if my scanners were working this way.
Yeah, that makes sense to do that. Let's look at FATE, Fate this morning. This one is gapping up. A nice 18.7 here. Therapeutic company looks like. Probably work on some stuff on there to hopefully get things better here with the type of market that we have and situation. But right now they're up nicely. Their pre-market volume right now is 115,000. So not all that great. Pre-market activity is a little bit choppy. Could be a good one. But again, right now for the open, I want to see stuff that's already got some volume and is moving. So this one I'm going to put on the side list for now here. This could be a good one for secondary list just in case if we get going here. Not sure what the float is on that one. Let me just double check the float here, guys. This one is sitting at 51.
It's like 80-ish million.
Yeah, so that one's good there. All right, guys. ABT. Let's take a look at that one. Then we'll do announcements. So ABT this morning. I'm not getting great volume on this one, guys. Again, so it's pretty light on the volume. We have traded it before. It's not doing much at the moment. So, all right, guys. Let's go over to announcements, and then we'll come back and do some levels on this.
All right, guys. As everybody's stuck at home with little to watch, except for the Ocho that we mentioned earlier, we have started broadcasting our market close show. Markets close on Wall Street each day, 3:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern. This will be especially relevant as we head towards earnings season, and those earnings start to come out right after the close. They'll be talking about what's going on in the market, what they're anticipating maybe for the next day, what Brian's looking for swing trades, all kinds of great info, and they have a really good time doing it. So, depending on what time zone you're in, maybe even grab a drink if you're in London or whatever and tune in for the show. For right now, at least, we'll be doing it every day, Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern. As far as success webinars this week, we had Stephen Goldstein. It was my pleasure to host that. It is up on YouTube. We'll leave it there for you guys to watch. It was an excellent presentation on managing yourself in extreme market conditions for better trading performance. He was a professional trader for over 20 years. He went through a lot of chaotic markets and points in time. He discusses that and how it's best to try to get through those and become a better trader by doing it. Next week, it's going to be Peter. That'll be at the normal time at 8 p.m. in the webinar room. It'll be him talking about charging up your trading using his lightning bolt pattern strategy. Then next Tuesday, we'll have our own in-house performance psychologist, trading psychologist, Dr. Jonathan Katz, 8 p.m. on Tuesday, talking about how to improve the fear of taking a trade. I know this is something some people struggle with over trading. Some people struggle with the anxiety of actually getting into a position. Maybe you struggle with the anxiety of getting into a position and still get into it too late. And at that point, you're chasing. So tune into that. Should be great. If you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the room, you'd like to give it a shot, you can do so at a discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24 when you sign up for the intro membership on our site. You can see it there. Click the sign up for intro, put in PREMARKET24 when prompted on the checkout page, and you can get access at a reduced price for a week. Doesn't auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership.
All right, thank you, bud. Appreciate that. All right, guys, let's get into what we have here. So I think we have a pretty good list like we have been having every single morning. This list has been a list that's pretty long, and you can just kind of fine tune the stuff that you like to watch. For example, out of all the cruise lines, I'm watching CCL. Out of AMD, MU, NVIDIA, I'm watching AMD. So you kind of could take one of the tickers from that group that you like to trade, the price level that you like. If you like a higher price, you could take NVIDIA, Apple. If you like a lower price, you could take AMD. So having choices to be able to do that is great. You just can't. What you cannot do is, and one of the advice for Friday is, don't try to watch everything to not miss a move, because then that'll just create confusion. And guess what? You probably will miss a move or get into something because you're creating FOMO for yourself. You're trying to watch everything not to miss something, and it's impossible when you're trading the markets. The more you focus on, the less of a master you're going to be on something. So just kind of fine tune that list. Try to keep your list between again 6 to 4 is great, and if you're a newer trader, even lower, you can do three stocks at a time. Look at Thor, our man main Thor here trades only sometimes 2 stocks, only watches 2 stocks, and if those stocks don't give him his opportunity, he moves on to the next one the following day or whatever the case may be. So with that said, let's take a look over at LK. Possible continuation today. Love the pre-market action right now, guys. This thing is moving very well. It is up 4.4. Again, big drop yesterday. It kind of recovering a little bit here. So as far as pre-market levels, our high of our pre-market sitting right now at a 686. So we'll hit a level on there. Hit our shortcut key. There we go, 687. Above that, we have this nice big gap all the way up to the high of yesterday. But again, that's a lot to go from 687. So I'm going to go into the intraday and see where some areas where we had some consolidation yesterday. So what we can do here is we can go into this yesterday's trading day. You can see it's a very heavy resistance here at one point and support over around 793. You can see here we got halted here. I believe we got halted on the way down as well. And then you can see several areas kind of using that support. So 793, basically that $8 mark. You can put it right at $8 because $8 probably going to be more significant because it is the whole dollar. Above that, another area you tested twice right here, 878. So 878 had a nice pop on here, reversal. You also had a nice drop, opening and closing of some candles on here as well. And then you get to your high of your day over at $10. Also on here, you had another change in direction on the 5-minute. We can also mark this down at 965 or so, right? So we have some levels here off our intraday because we're not going to go from 671 all the way up to 10. You need to have some areas where you saw some loss of momentum. And look how that also played out in the pre-market. You have some days also, some of the candles kind of losing some momentum around those levels. So that's what we have on LK, guys. Towards the bottom, you have your previous day close and the low from yesterday on there as well. Again, we got a huge gap here. We're up nicely 5%. Pre-market continues to be very active right now with some really good volume, 3 million shares. We might be getting out of this 687 in a couple of minutes, or at least retesting it. We already tested it 1, 2. This could be the third time, could be the charm, and could be a break out of that. We'll come back to that one. APA this morning, guys. Good pre-market activity as well. I think this is one to keep an eye on. Norm is definitely going to have this one on his list, as he mentioned earlier. High of the pre-market sitting at 551. Above this, you have several levels, not the cleanest. You got 582, and then clearly you have this one here. This is one that's very clean. Tested it twice on the daily here a couple of days ago, 663. Go back a little bit around the 12th of March, and you do have some support and resistance happening there as well at that level. Towards the bottom, you have plenty. You have your previous day close, the lows of the last 2 trading days towards the bottom of the previous day close. Your low of your pre-market is going to be sitting at 491. That's plenty of levels on this one today. So pre-market, guys, looking very active this morning. Got some good volume, 1 million shares traded so far, creating a beautiful flow here. That's what we like to see in our pre-market. Here's Tesla, also a beautiful pre-market activity. What I mean by that is because you have a nice flow. You're getting some ranges out of this in the pre-market. You can see here we got some volume as well following that 906,000 shares traded. We are up 14% with some good news from them being released yesterday, as Norm mentioned earlier. Our high of our pre-market sitting at 531, so let's mark that down. Above that, you do have another daily level here for 543.23. And above that, you have 559. So let's mark those two down as well. And towards the bottom, I'm not going to add any. Actually, no, hold on. We can add the pre-market low sitting at 507. And then below that, you have plenty of levels. Highs and lows got you covered all the way down to the previous day close there. So here is Oxy. So this is one of the oil companies that's moving, has the best pre-market activity. Obviously, they got good news of trying to control things. Again, it's right now, it's been the Wild Wild West with people competing and just kind of flooding the supply chain here and making things bad for everybody. That's not a good thing for the industry. That drops prices drastically, especially given the market that we're in now, even worse because it's not being consumed at all. So you're messing with the supply and demand, and business is all about supply and demand. That's very important. So some levels here we have high of our pre-market is very close to the high of yesterday, right there around that 13.95 area. We do have 14.52 from the daily, and we also have 15.29 towards the bottom. We have the low of the pre-market sitting at 12.80.82, very close to the previous day close line there as well. Now I'm gonna watch this one, guys. Most likely I'm not gonna take a trade unless I see something very, very clean. I'm not really a fan of these stocks, but today we'll keep an eye on it because they do have some news behind it, so it could be interesting to watch this one. Here's TLRY. So we started very good earlier on around 7:30ish or so. We got some volume going, but now we just really dropped. The last couple of minutes has not really done much. So for that reason, I might drop this one. I'm just gonna mark down the high of the pre-market. We'll wait for this one to hit our scanners. Right now, it's not looking all that great. It started off nice. I would expect more volume to come in here and kind of get that going and build some good pre-market action. We're not seeing that. So high of the pre-market sitting at 660. We'll leave that mark there just in case. And then we have our highs and lows kind of creating this range, this tunnel range we've been stuck in for the last 2 days at least, right? Bouncing back and forth there. It might just do that today. It might not have the juice to get going. Again, we need volume. When you see the volumes, when we get these nice, beautiful candles here, the last couple of days, we have not been seeing that volume. So for that reason, guys, going to drop it off my main list here. Let's look at CCL. CCL is very, very active this morning. So let's get some levels on here. Our high of our pre-market all the way at 843. They had a big drop 2 days ago. Going down towards the low of the pre-market, sitting all the way at 802, which is down here. There we go, 802. It's very choppy, this pre-market activity. It's got some good volume coming in now. I mean, you got some candles here. Look at this one 5-minute candle at 1.2 million shares traded. So again, there's some heavy volume happening here, guys. So be very, very careful. We're stuck within this range of the last 2 days. We've been consolidating here. Well, today and this morning, yesterday and this morning. So we're stuck between these levels, highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, previous day close. Also, we're hitting this support level we had here when we had the first big drop. So also, there's no more levels down here, guys. We're our all-time low for this one. So nothing else you can do towards the bottom there. This one here, we're sitting at a 1032 is the next really big level on the daily. Aside from that, you don't have anything else going up all the way up to 12. So anyway, look out for 10, look out for 950, look out for these whole dollar numbers that can be important. Right now, pre-market starting to get going with some really good volume. Let's see if they can break out this 843 level. Also, one more thing, be careful on CCL. What I've seen over the last couple of days, although it looks very strong in the pre-market, you get this one pop and then it just gets slammed. So just be careful with that. If you see it going south, do not hesitate to get out of your position if it's going against you. Here's American Airlines. It's got a good pre-market activity. High of the pre-market sitting at a 1045. We'll mark that down. The bottom sitting at the low of the pre-market sitting all the way down at 10.01, so we'll put that on there. Again, kind of stuck between the highs and lows of yesterday's trading day, previous day close, creating a beautiful base here around 10. Right, so that has been the base we have here, is right at your pre-market low as well. Can it hold? Right, we got a good pre-market activity now bouncing off of that. Can it hold this level and squeeze higher here if possible? Towards the top, guys, highs and lows from the last two trading days around 11.50's got you covered, all the way up to this moving average here around 12 bucks. Again, I don't think it'll get all the way up there unless some significant news comes out. It's going to be a struggle for them to get through all these levels up to 12 bucks, but we have it ready just in case. Here is Zoom. Zoom starting to build a good pre-market activity. Had a great trading day yesterday. We took it short at the open, and then many people took it long at the reversal as well. High of our pre-market sitting at 127.81. Our low of our pre-market is actually in the red over at 119. So it looks like we might be heading back down towards the previous day close. Let's see if we can hold this this move on the green side. If not, we do have some levels towards the bottom, the low from yesterday. And if we lose that, look at the low from yesterday. What a great area of resistance that was. I know this chart's a little bit choppy, but you can see several days opening and banging their heads up against this level here until they finally were able to break out and give us this beautiful move here. So the bottom of this consolidation that we've been having is going to be all the way down around, you could take, yeah, it's all the way down. There's several here, actually. You have one here at 101. I don't think we're going to get there. Several days you can see bouncing off of that. But I like this one here as well, the 108. So 108, you have several days opening and closing around that area, plus the base of this day here where we had the breakout. So that is Zoom, guys. I like this one. Let's keep an eye on that one. Here's Twitter. Twitter, great possible. We know Twitter can be explosive. They got an upgrade, as Norm mentioned earlier today. Let's do some levels towards the top side. The high of the pre-market is very close to the high of yesterday, but let's mark it down anyways. We tested that area. It looks a couple of times here, 24, 26 here and here. Let's see if we can go up and test it one more time. Above that, the high from 2 days ago, which is also the low from 3 days ago. So got a level on there as well. And then if we look in here, guys, this is very, very choppy. Just look at the candles on here. Very, very choppy. Obviously, this will be a level here, 26.34. That's a major one. A minor one will be this one on here where you have some opening and closing of several days, 25, 26. Again, that's not a major level of support and resistance, guys. Again, you want to see a clean change in direction or a clean support of it being hit several times of resistance. We're not seeing that there, but we need something in between 26.34 and the price action now, because that's a big move to try to make that that move all the way up there. So that's Twitter, guys. Let's see if the pre-market continues to get better. Good volume, up 5.9, 4.9 this morning. Let's see what happens there. Here is AMD. So AMD very got some big candles here, but very choppy pre-market at the moment. Pretty much flat, trying to get green right now. Again, I'm not liking AMD as much, but let's see if the SPY can head into one direction. AMD could be going to follow after. Low of the pre-market sitting at 43.90. Below that, you have the lows of the last two trading days, right at 43, which is a perfect support area. Towards the top, you have your high from yesterday, and then your pre-market high is just slightly above the previous day close at 44.63. We'll mark that down. Let's see if we could test that. We kind of tested it twice here and once here. Let's see if we can get green again. We've been doing higher lows here on this pattern in the pre-market. Hopefully we can squeeze up and make a nice move for us there. Aside from that, outside of this range we just talked about, we have several levels, highs and lows as well, and so you're pretty much covered as far as levels. FAET, this one is still not doing much. I'm just going to remove this one, guys, right now. I'm not going to keep this one on my list. Pretty light on the volume, not seeing anything great out of that list. Okay, so this is what we have, guys. Let's take a look at what everybody else is going to be watching today. Again, just to recap, we have LK, we have APA, we have Tesla, Oxy's trading well. I might not keep that one on my list. Again, these companies are a little bit weird sometimes. We have CCL, we have Apple, we have Zoom, we've Twitter, and AMD. So thank you guys on YouTube for joining us. Have a great weekend, trade safe, and we will see you guys again on Monday. Norm, any final words for our viewers?
Trade safe. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Enjoy your family. Check up on your friends. Everybody isolated. Who knows how hard of a time people are having dealing with this. So anyway, take care. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you Monday.
Agreed. Take care, guys. Be safe, and we'll see you Monday.